What's up, everybody? This is Trysta. Please subscribe to This League. Tap the bell, comment below, and give us a like. On this episode of This League, it's just two Suns fans commiserating over an L. Game 4. I am sad to report that Suns in 4 is only a lifestyle. We discussed it on the last episode. It is now mathematically impossible. It is now Suns in 2 more games. We need Suns in 2 more games. That's really the new lifestyle.
2 out of 3.
You know what I think is also kind of amazing is that colleagues are chirping my original game 1 video about fuck you Milwaukee Bucks. They were completely silent until last night. I wonder why. They retweeted a video that I had that went semi-viral that they were completely silent about, and now they are not so silent. And I can tell you this, when the Suns end up winning the championship, Marty, I will also not be silent. We also go over the WNBA All-Star game, which was fucking, I know you didn't see it, but it was lit. Like maybe one of the best All-Star games, men or women, I've ever seen in my life. Like so good. So much bad blood. So petty. Like I love petty, and the pettiness levels were at all-time highs. So also we got some social news. We got some NBA news around the league. Kawhi possibly is on the move. And some more updates for Team USA basketball. They continue to, even with wins, not necessarily impress. So we move on. All right, let's drop the beat, Marty. Commiseration time, Marty. The Milwaukee Bucks somehow, some way, won Game 4. Somehow, some way. I don't even know. Suns up 9 in the fourth quarter. Up 9.
Yeah.
While Devin Booker is on said bench.
Yeah, I forget who hit the 3 to make us go up 9. It was probably Cam. At that point I felt pretty good. Weirdly, I mean, I don't know. I'm a little flustered this morning. It was just such a bad loss. Like I knew the whole game that the turnovers were going to be such a big difference, and it really ended up being that. I mean, 17-5. That's really the only stat you needed to look at. That
0 transition points for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I mean, they took care of the ball. We didn't really have that many opportunities. It just, it was tough. It was really tough. And to be up 9, especially, to have that opportunity and just completely squander it, this one hurts. This one hurts really bad.
Bucks had 11 steals. 11.
Yeah.
Suns had 24 turnovers to the Bucks 5.
17.
17 offensive rebounds to 5 offensive rebounds for the Suns. So that's what my notes say, at least. The Suns had 0 fast break points. Bridges, Ayton, Paul, probably all worst games of the playoffs, all at the same time. Suns led for 38 of 44 minutes. That's
38.
38 of the first 44 out of the first 44 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought when it was Bucks minus 4.5, and I said, let's hammer the Bucks, that I could mush my way into a Suns win. Turns out, no. Turns out they covered. It is an undercity thing. It is not a stranger place to play than Fiserv Forum. Like some of the weirdest games of the playoffs have happened there. Just weird. It was a weirdly called game.
Oh, yeah, like all the way around. They were so inconsistent. Like at the beginning, it was like they're calling every little touch foul, and then they just stopped completely. And just inconsistency on both sides. And I know everyone's going to talk about the Booker no call, but there was a lot of weird stuff going on.
There was a couple of calls on PJ Tucker that were also sus. Even from a Suns fan perspective, I would say Jay Crowder is the best.
Oh yeah,
He is the best.
that Connaughton one was the funniest one.
Yeah, it was where he pretended he grabbed his ankle.
Well, he literally did nothing.
He literally did just was hopping on one leg, and it looked even on TV like Pat Connaughton grabbed his ankle, but he did nothing. He just literally was just standing there.
Yep.
I think also, speaking of the refs, like Monty Williams. Maybe Monty Williams' worst coaching performance in the sense that he did not, only in the sense, there were multiple instances where the game flipped momentum-wise because there was a bad call and it looked like there was a Crowder a foul on Giannis, I want to say, that was completely straight up and clean. You should have challenged one of these things. Like, this is just, there were momentum shifting moments.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
And
yeah, that could have been challenged.
And there was a few of them where I was like, oh, well, maybe he's saving it for the fourth quarter. And then something happened in the fourth quarter. I'm like, Monty, can't fucking die with your challenges in your pocket. Like,
the ironic thing about that is what I think he was probably holding on to it for was if there was a bad call that fouled Booker out, that he wanted to keep it in his pocket for that. And then like for the Booker no call thing to happen, it actually is kind of darkly funny.
Devin Booker could have had 9 fouls last night.
Whatever. The fourth one was bullshit. The fifth one, I think it was out of bounds already. So like, let's go. Well, they won the game, so let's shut the fuck up about it. Let's like there's no reason to even talk about it.
But it's funny. It's funny. We're talking about the whole game, Marty, and that is funny.
No, sure, it's funny. I get we have to talk about it.
If the Suns won and Middleton or Giannis had like a million fouls. By the way, speaking of which, Giannis, I think, got his first foul on him called like midway through the third quarter. I'm like, that's absurd.
Yeah,
that is absurd.
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is, and I said this on Twitter, the NBA does need to adopt some of these FIBA rules because I feel like they are making players soft. Like Giannis is getting these calls. Like there's a DeAndre Ayton straight up where Giannis turned, spun, bumped into him and fell backwards. And that was not a foul and it was called a foul. And I swear to God, Giannis looked right at the ref like, you better fucking call that or I'm going to be fuming.
Yeah, no, I just screamed like, what is he supposed to do? If Giannis is able to just spin into a guy and get a foul, like, what do you do? What is there to do to stop that? There's nothing you can do. That was a shit call. That was such a shit call. Yeah.
Giannis was 11 for 19, 26 points, but holy shit, he looked like the defensive player of the year. Oh my God.
Yeah,
3 steals, 2 blocks, 1 turnover. I know this is like a painful conversation.
No, we got to talk about it.
The block is now an iconic moment, a signature defining moment. I don't know how you get back. I don't know. So the play is, it was Booker. Booker lobbed to Ayton, a little high, a little out. Fine. He needed to throw it there in order to avoid Giannis block or whatever, or, like tip away. Put it, and there's like a cock back and dunk, and he's so far up. His arms are so long. It looked like no one on the planet was going to be able to block that. And for Giannis to recover, turn around, notice that this was a lob and not a shot, and then go up and turn around, contest, and fucking tip the ball away, not fouling. It was maybe one of the most impressive blocks I've ever seen.
It was insane. It was absolutely like I was just in disbelief, and like it wasn't even like an anger thing, which I get really angry during games, and I was just like,
what do you do about that?
Like, yeah, I mean, I thought Ayton was just about to hammer it down. We were going to go up 2, and that was just going to be a huge point in the game, and then just to have that ripped away. Like, I didn't even notice Giannis, like, when the pass was thrown. No. You know? Like,
he wasn't anywhere in the play.
Yeah.
He was defending Devin Booker. He literally was pulling. Yeah. He was drawn up towards the free throw line. Yeah. I don't want to get, like, too much into nerd talk, but, like, that's where he was. And for him to just look back to be like, oh, is that a make? Oh, no, that's not a shot. That's a fucking lob. Let me go up and try to grab that.
Well, let me just shift my momentum completely and then just with my full reach, just go. Yeah, I mean, it's just you can't say enough about that. That shot's gonna. I mean, that block is just gonna live forever, and it should.
And let's not even forget that you say shift in momentum, and the dude hyperextended his knee like a week ago. How do you comfortably and confidently like attempt that when it looked like you were night for maybe the rest of the playoffs, and you were fucking dominating to a level that I don't think we've seen. I mean, it's just, I don't know. You just put up your hands like, wow. And that was the game. Like, honestly, that was the game. At that point, it was like, oh, well, you know, it's just.
It felt bad at that point. And I knew Middleton was in a groove at that point. He was hitting all his mid-range.
Yep. And the nail in the coffin was, 58 seconds or whatever it is, turnover. A CP3 turnover. Yep. Gross.
Yep.
I was literally like, this is how I knew he was having the worst game of his life in the playoffs, is I was I was honestly like, get the ball out of Chris Paul's hands. I don't want it in your hands right now. I literally was like, give the ball to Devin Booker and move away because you have like 6 turnovers tonight. He has 15 turnovers in 3 games.
Yeah.
15. He had 0 for like a long stretch.
Well, so he had 5 last night, and he had 5, I think, in the entire Nugget series. He had like 7 in the entire Lakers series. It's just so uncharacteristic. And
hand it to Drew. I mean, Drew made it very difficult on him, but like that was a silly fucking turnover. He was way too loose, like way too loosey-goosey. He was Steph Curry with the rock.
Yeah, well, yeah. Drew's played great defense on him like the whole series, but they actually switched Drew onto Booker.
Yep.
Like midway through the third, and CP was still making these mistakes with Pat Connaughton on him. Like
you can't do that.
Yeah, and like people are saying they think he's hurt. I don't buy into that. Like I don't think they would hide that from people. Like I just think he had a poor game.
It was bad.
It was
bad.
It was really. I mean, he's the reason we lost.
Yeah,
he's the reason the Suns lost. It's completely on him. It's not on anybody else.
To you, how much do you think? Because to me, Chris Paul is a guy that's going to take this loss really hard. Like, go into maybe a dark place for like a few hours and get on BetterHelp.com. Shout out to BetterHelp.com, which we will talk about later on in the show. But I think that was really an uncharacteristic game for him and an uncharacteristic moment. And when Devin has it cooking and you are literally a detriment to your squad, like, I don't know what to say, and now the detractors will come out of the woodworks and this is why we don't like Chris Paul. He's washed. And no, it's like, what do you say?
Well, the 5th foul really hurt Devin. Like that got him completely out of his rhythm. I think it came with like 9 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I think or something like that. And he was cooking. He had 18 points in the third quarter. He was just absolutely destroying. And then he came back with like 5 minutes or something, and he just like wasn't the same. So, I mean, you want the ball in Devin's hands at that point, but I mean, Chris has been the guy. I can't like get on him for trying to make something happen. It just he tried to cross over and he just slipped. It was I don't know. He
shouldn't have been going into traffic right then.
I mean,
he had one defender collapsing on him and another. I mean, you don't have it tonight. So you have to kind of adjust. It's like when you play on a golf course and you don't have the tools with you in the bag. Like, don't try to hit a fucking driver off the deck in the fairway because you fucking don't have it tonight, Chris. Yeah. Like, you just don't.
I also wish they would have. I don't know about post up Ayton more, but and I know like Ayton's offense comes from like the natural like flow of everything typically, but like he had a lot of favorable matchups like on switches and stuff, and I wish they would have fed him a little more down the stretch.
Plus, in game 3, he had a couple of like mid-range jumpers set up for him that he didn't get last night at all. He played awful. He didn't get the opportunities, but he didn't play great either. No. Like in terms of like offensively.
No, he didn't.
Somebody said on
Twitter.
He
only had 6, right? 6 points?
Yeah. Yep. Chris Paul picked the worst time to turn into Dennis Schroeder. I'm sorry, I know. It's like painful, but it's funny.
The ones that I was seeing was, Booker really is the new Kobe because he's playing with Smush Parker out there. That one hurt.
He did look like prime Kobe. There was that one fall away that he had when he had like 3 guys draped around him on that right baseline, and it was like, oh my God, how did he make that?
Well, and right when so he was cooking. I think he probably had like 12 or something points in the third after scoring 20 in the first half, and that's when they made the switch and put Drew on him. And he had this one where he just like bullied him into the paint, spun, and just like over him, hung in the air, hit the fall away, and I was just like, he just did that against Drew fucking Holiday and made it look easy. Yeah. Like this kid is
on another level.
It's just crazy. We got a game like that, and they shot what 40% from the field, and that doesn't equate to a win.
20-something%.
That's just
it's never happened before. Where a team has shot this well. I forget what they shot overall. The Suns shot overall from the field.
Over 50%.
Over 50%, and the opposite team scores less than, their field goal percentage is less than 40, and you still lose. Like, that's just not happened in a playoff game before.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Devin Booker has now the most career points in his first postseason play ever.
Yeah.
522 points. Suck it.
I'm proud of him for that. I don't think anyone really deserves a record more than that. He stuck with it. You see here, who did he pass? He passed Rick Barry, right? Yeah. Who went to the final? I think they won that finals, if I remember right.
I think so.
No, good for Devin. The silver lining of last night is that, okay, like, stop talking shit about Devin. He's good.
I had people in my DMs over the course of this last week telling me after Devin Booker's game in Milwaukee that he doesn't play well on the road, that he's just not good on the road. And so I must say for my boy, Mike Petrina, first ever closeout game 6 against the Lakers, 47 points, 11 rebounds at Staples. Game 4 in Denver, 34 on the road in a closeout. Game 4 in Milwaukee, 42 on the fucking road. He is a man on the road. Just because he has a couple of bad games doesn't mean he's not a man on the road. So fuck everyone who doesn't like Devin Booker and wants to slander his name. And he's a fucking baby. Is he 24?
Yeah.
25?
24.
Yeah. I mean, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing, Marty? What else do I have to say? Oh, yeah, Mikal Bridges, awful. I think this matchup is, like, not good for him. I don't know. He didn't get as many minutes in Game 4 as he has in the past. Not sure why. Maybe because he wasn't playing well. He averaged 15.
Jay was playing really well.
Yeah,
I think that may have been a
Crowder
factor.
game. Jay Crowder has come alive. Since Game 1, he's been playing amazing.
Yep.
He's been playing amazing. It's better, though. Like I said, it's better that Phoenix lost that game because Devin Booker probably had 9 fouls. And that one, there were 2 fouls that were so obviously fouls on Devin Booker. The one on Drew and then the one on Giannis, pretty much back to back and like very close to one another. No calls on either one. If Phoenix wins that game, the world comes after you and says that this was a fraudulent championship. It was stolen. I know you don't care, but let's just get the win legitimately so that there's nothing that they can say.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Look, I think it was a makeup no call because the 4 and 5, I think, were a little sus. But yeah, I mean, it's all anyone would have been talking about. And sure, it would have been annoying, but
that would be the defining storyline right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Defining storyline.
And like, I just don't even know what happened. I mean, he clearly just blacked out and forgot that he had 5 fouls because that was a wrap up. He was
fouling
aggressive to prevent the layup.
Yeah. And it's like, Devin, I wrote this on Twitter. I said, hey, buddy, you have 5 fouls right now.
Yeah, they gave him a block on that play.
You know what was funny?
That's the funniest thing. They credited him with a block.
He literally, on the timeout, though, this is the funniest thing. He argued for a jump ball.
Oh, that's all. Yeah.
Hey, buddy, you should be fouled out right now.
Yeah.
Devin, he was on another planet, like mentally on another planet, because obviously he didn't have the presence of mind on either one of those fouls to say, yo, I'm out of this game if I don't. He was like, I am, like, where they're like, step on the gas, step on the brake. And Devin's like, step on the gas.
Yeah, I forgot that he went and talked to the ref after that play. That is pretty ridiculous.
He's like, that was a jump ball. Like, I should have that. It's like, bro, you should be out of the game. You should be fouled out right now.
They coach him to argue. I don't know. I mean, we're sad. I'm upset. I'm so upset right now.
It's so funny. Chris Middleton back into the prime MJ part of the cycle.
God. Ugh.
God, man.
Every mid-range, especially down the street. I mean, he was awesome. Tip of the hat. What a performance, fourth quarter.
People saying that Chris Middleton had a better game than Devin Booker, I just don't think that's true. Like, I just don't think that's true.
He had more shots. He had like 5 more shots to get what he had.
He literally was prime Kobe in terms of how many shots. I think he had 33 shots.
Yeah, he did.
And Giannis after the game was like, this is the best. He was like, when the game's down the line, I just want to give the ball to Chris. Like, I just
and he does. That's what he does.
Yeah. I just trust Chris. And Chris in Milwaukee delivers. I think Chris Middleton is trash on the road.
We'll see.
We're gonna see.
I don't know. I'm not gonna tempt fate with that one.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the series it's a 2 out of 3 now, and 2 of the games are in Phoenix.
Suns in 2.
Yeah.
Suns in 2 more. Life is full of stressors. For folks who love to gamble and folks who love the NBA, right now is a time that's very stressful. The over did not hit. The Devin Booker and Suns win prop also did not win. That was a bad loss. And when these stressors come your way, anxiety hits, depression hits, an alarming amount of sadness waves over your body where you don't want to get into a little hole. You want to just eat whatever your comfort food is. I'm looking at you, Marty Black. What is your comfort food when you're sad?
Chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa. Wow, that's an interesting one.
I'll just devour it.
Just devour. I love Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Extra hot Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And so that puts me into a spiral. Like I eat the Cheetos, my head starts to hurt, my stomach hurts, I feel down, I eat more Cheetos. And instead of doing that, we now have a new solution, which is called BetterHelp.com. You may be feeling down, you may be feeling depressed, but there's someone for you to talk to. And when you are full-fingered of those red Cheetos all over your hands or chips and salsa all over your bed, wrappers and all, you can get on BetterHelp.com without the video feature with licensed therapists who you can get your feelings out into the open, process them with a professional, and you can clear your mind and be a better person on the other end. When things are there that you can't tell anyone, like what you think you'll feel if the Suns end up losing to the Milwaukee Bucks, who are probably the most overrated team to go to the NBA Finals, there's things you can't tell anyone else. Not even your dad, not even your friends, but you can tell a therapist. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist so you don't have to see anyone on camera. It's way more affordable, especially if you're gambling on these games, much more affordable than in-person therapy. You can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So before Game 5, you can do that. Unload the stressors and get some unbiased feedback. You'd be surprised at what you might gain from it. She might break down the difference between the offensive rebounds and the fast break points. You'll feel a lot better because the win is coming in Phoenix. The podcast right now is sponsored by BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month of BetterHelp.com/Trysta. That's BETTER help.com/Trysta. Prior to the finals, what we had was a WNBA All-Star game, but it was not like you would normally see it. And in fact, I want this to be the way that it is from now on. Like this is now like my shit. Okay, so you had the WNBA All-Star team versus the Team USA women's team.
So it was like it was the All-Star team minus all the players that got selected for the Olympic
Correct.
team. Okay.
So, and the Team USA team had everyone on it except for Taurasi didn't play. She was like wanting to load manage.
Okay.
And the WNBA All-Star team had everyone but Liz Cambage and Nneka. So Nneka's still recovering. And also, by the way, like she's trying to play for Nigeria right now, and they are being real bitches about that. Nneka and Shanae and Enrique all are trying to play for Team Nigeria. And Team USA was like, no, you got too many connections to Team USA. So we've cut you. We're not allowing you to play for us, but you can't play for another country either.
Are they citizens of Nigeria?
They are...
Nigerian descent?
Yes.
Okay.
Like Bam Adebayo.
Right. Damn.
So it's a stress. They're now going to go into arbitration. So all of that's happening too. You had Arike Ogunbowale, who is a fucking boss, get cut from Team USA, like without any fanfare pretty recently. She was supposed to be on the team. They cut her. And now she's on the WNBA All-Star team. And her and Candace Parker are like pissed that they're not on Team USA. And so they just were pounding the Team USA. Oh, it was incredible. Like there was this one point in the game where, I mean, because everybody's thinking like Team USA should win, right? They should win that game.
Right. Yeah.
They should win that game slightly handily because they're preparing for the Olympic stage. This is not an exhibition scrimmage for them. They need to put it on them, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like an all-star A team versus B team, right?
Correct.
That's what it kind of sounds like.
Correct.
Okay.
And at this point, it's like 55 seconds left in the game. And the all-star team is up like 8. And you've got Candace Parker getting held back. She's on the bench. And she's like, you can see her mouthing, yeah, bitch. Bitch. Like, it was incredible. The defense, you had Courtney Williams, with the short little hair. She's probably 5'5".
Okay.
She blocks, who did she block? Asia Wilson, who's like 6'2". She blocks. I'm like, this is lit, dude. It was so sick. The level of pettiness was so wild. Insane. And they even, Arike Ogunbowale had 26. She shot 5 for 10 from 3. It was just like, it was just one of those moments where everyone on that team's like, we deserve to be here. You guys should have beat us. And it wasn't close. Like, it just wasn't close. So the thing that was also interesting is how this line came together. The over-under on this line was just maybe the most absurdly funny thing that can happen in gambling. So like there's this sports book that's all catered for pros, right? Like they're supposed to be for the professional gambler, Circa Sports, right? So Circa Sports is like, we're going to put out the line first. We're going to set the line. We're going to be the ones, right? And this guy, Matt Metcalf, set the line at 248.5 for the over-under. 248.5 does not seem nuts considering that the last WNBA All-Star game they played in 2019 was 255 points scored, 2018 241, 2017 had 251, but like this isn't the same, bro. Like it's Team USA versus the WNBA All-Star team. Like this is bad. Baby, now we got bad blood. And it was like they were playing lockdown D, right. And for some reason he just didn't like realize that. He just somehow just didn't think about that. He was taking only this is why analytics fucking suck, right? Like you can't just take all of the previous ones, put them up in your calculator and then spit them out, right?
Yeah. So
then you had smart bettors. This is like where it gets really funny. So a couple of smart bettors put max bets on the over. So that why? So that all the other books put that line either above the original line or they keep that line. So they put the max bet on Circa and then they put max bets on every other sports book on the under. So they literally put like 5,000 on Circa on the over 248.5. And then they put like 5,000 at each sports book that has the line at 248.5 on the under. And it's just like fucking easy money. Just insane. So, okay. So then the line dropped like 32 times before tip. 32 times, moving from 251 because it moved up. Like once those people put the max bet in at the over, it moved from 248.5 to 251.
Damn.
All the way down to 197. From 251 to 197 in like a day. Some books went as low as 192, which is 60 points off the opening line. And it still went under. If you say life is too short to bet the under after that, you're a fucking liar. Like it just isn't. Wow. 178 points scored. That's fucking crazy. The opening over was off by 70 points.
That's so wild. That is so wild.
This is exactly why I like the WNBA because like no one is really paying attention.
No one really knows how to book it, how to set the lines.
Yeah, no one really knows what's going on. It's like the wild, wild west. And so the exact same reason that people don't watch the WNBA is exactly the same reason that books don't really know how to set the line. And so then like people who actually watch can make shitload of money.
Yeah. College baseball is kind of similar. Like, is like a lot of guys just have no idea how to handicap it. And yeah.
It's just wild. This is exactly what I like. This is the shit that I love. Yeah. So now I think that the women's game is going to continue to get more and more coverage, of course. I mean, we're seeing it happen more and more, but like, it's just, it was just something to watch, man. It was just something to watch. That's all the time we have. Please subscribe, please rate, please review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It makes a huge difference for us. We have Sons and Four merch, which is a lifestyle. Sons and Four merch is a lifestyle. That is on the Barstool store. Don't forget to follow us at This League and at Trysta Krick on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We'll be back. What time? When will we be back?
Monday.
We'll be back Monday. That just one game from then to now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. We'll be previewing Game 6.
Previewing Game 6 and post-viewing Game 5. Post-viewing Game 5. Thank you for listening. Tune in Monday afternoon for the next episode of This League.